So you're moving here or you're visiting and you're wondering, where can I get the best libations, best drinks? Where really can I just tie one on? Where can I get drunk here on the Emerald Coast? Well, we're going to go through a little bit of a journey together and enjoy some drinks, some memories, and I'll tell you the best places to go from my years of experience here.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Vacation, of course, there's some really good places for you to check out depending upon what you're into. So that's what I want to go over with you today. We'll kind of mix it up a little bit to kind of give you the certain vibe that you might be going for. So first stop, let's talk about Pensacola. All right, so we're going to go all the way out to the west and work our way to the east. Pensacola, where's the main drag that you should go out to if you're going out to have a couple of delicious libations? Well, destination spot in Pensacola is going to be Palafox Street. So that's downtown for Palafox Street. There's tons of different places to go. You can simply walk down. They've got breweries, they've got wine bars, they've got all sorts of different places, sports bars, a bunch of those for you to go check out. Some notable places to go check out is O'Reilly's. Now, O'Reilly's, it's an Irish pub. It's pretty cool. And as you kind of come up to it and you look at it, it actually has a couple of different floors. You can go up or you can go down. It's kind of like in the basement, which is really nice because it keeps it pretty cool in there. And most of the time you're hanging out and you're sweating because it's hot and it's Florida. It's actually a good starter bar if you want to go hang out there. And it also turned out to be a pretty decent end of the night bar as well. But O'Reilly's is pretty good. It's got Guinness on tap. It's got liquor, all those different things that you might want, and a really chill atmosphere in there. So definitely check out O'Reilly's. Old Hickory is a further down the street, another notable one to go check out. And that's pretty much a liquor bar. One of the times that I went there, they made this certain drink that they actually had the fire, and they put this orange peel on there and they covered it with a pint glass, and it just made this certain drink just really good. If you remember the name of that drink, leave that in the comments here. I forgot it, so let me know. So definitely check that one out. Whiskey Bar is another good one too. I've got some crazy memories at the Whiskey Bar that I probably shouldn't say in this video, so we'll just leave it at that. All right, so if you want to go out and kind of get your club kind of vibe to it, there's not a whole lot here on the Emerald Coast. There really isn't, unless you're looking for Gentlemen's Club, and that should be a completely different video as it goes. But the club atmosphere, if you're going to go out to Pensacola, most of the people, and I've been there myself, want to go to a place called Seville. It's called Seville Quarter. And Seville has, when you walk into it, it's got all those different clubs. If you've ever been to something like that, you know, you'll walk in, and for this specific one, you go out to the left. If you like the hip hop sort of scene, that's often there. If you keep going down, you'll also have, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, there's a different vibe for another bar that you, as you go in there. It's usually playing the classical rock. It's got that just bar atmosphere. As you go further out back, it kind of extends to that more live music. There is live music typically throughout these different ones. You kind of can wrap back around. They've got some billiards and things like that. Kind of goes into a little bit more of a sports bar. And then as you head back towards the front, there's a piano bar, dueling piano bar. Super cool to go check that out. Definitely some place to go into. It's got its clubbish things, but if you're with some friends and you're like, you can go do that, I'm going to go hang out over here, which is what we did, especially with certain crews that we had in the military. You know, that was one of those spots. It was awesome. Like, you go do your thing, I'm going to go do mine. And everybody has a good time. So if you're also looking, you want some wine, some vino, and you kind of want to wine and chill is what I'm going to call this category, check out the Wine Bar on Palafox. That's actually a pretty cool place as well, if that's a little bit more of your style. It's right down next to a cigar bar. You can't smell the cigar coming in, but it's right there. There's also another bar that's above that as well. That's another sports bar. You can kind of figure that out when you get there. But the Wine Bar is really nice. It's got outdoor, indoor seating, and the ambiance is really, really nice. So talk about beer. Let's talk about beer. The best place to go there is World of Beer. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I feel bad just saying that. I used to work there years ago. Not at that one. The one in Albany. But anyway, some of the best places to go to get craft beer is going to be McGuire's. Now, McGuire's is kind of a staple in Pensacola, and you'll know because you walk in and there's just what looks like $1 billion of $1 bills that are just stapled everywhere. Kind of crazy when you go in there. The food's really good, but you definitely got to check out. They got a micro brew in there. The Irish Red's really good. If you like that sort of atmosphere in that, definitely check that out. It's off the beaten path a little bit, but it's perfectly fine. In Pensacola as well, you can check out Perfect Plain Brewery. It's got a good amount of seatings. It's got a little bit of a like a beer garden in the back that you kind of seems like a longest walk ever to get back there. It's really not, but it is. Pretty good. Just serves beer. Kind of got that atmosphere, that brewery atmosphere as well. And if you go further down the street, which seems like it'd be a short walk per your Google, and then you end up walking and it seems like it takes forever, because it does. You can go to Old Colony Brewing. That's got a different atmosphere to it too. They can typically open up what are like garage doors up in the front, has that open air sort of concept to it. It's got a nice seating in the back, and it's got some good ones throughout. Pretty good beer selection. However, they're pretty powerful beers, so just be careful. All right, that's all we have for Pensacola. Let's go into the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area. I had to kind of clump these into two, and then I realized I had a lot more of these areas here than anywhere else, but let's make our main stroll. So let's talk with Destin first. So your main stroll in Destin is going to be your Harbor Walk. Harbor Walk is right as you go over the Destin Bridge, and it dumps into the Emerald Grand, which is the only really big condo complex that's right there. It's this whole long stretch that you can go down to. The Harbor Walk right across the street is another McGuire's. It's very, very similar to what I had mentioned for the other place, except this one is 2 stories. Also, if you're going to go on the stroll in Destin, this is typically how it goes. Now, some of us locals kind of have this whole thing planned out. And a lot of people make the mistake of starting down by, the Harbor Walk and working your way the other direction. Not really. If you want sort of the midday to evening open concept, just kind of enjoying your beers for a little bit, what you need to do is start at the other end. Now, the other end where this starts, that whole Harbor Walk that you can literally walk down, Starts over where you'll see the Land Shark Pizza. Amazing Diablo pizza, by the way. Beer selection, they have a lot of taps, but nothing's ever there. The taps are mostly for show. But anyway, head down there and you'll see the Red Door Saloon. That's mostly outdoors. Really good ambiance there. It's a good starter bar. Sometimes they have some live music in there, but it's pretty good to kind of start. You also have they have cornhole and different bar games to kind of get the night going, and decent amount of parking. So if you're going to, leave your car there and kind of work your way down, that's a good one. As you do that, you'll head down, you kind of go down a gravel path, and then that's where the Harbor Walk starts, is off to the right, heading east or west. And as soon as you head down there, there's a couple of other different bars, and I can't mention them all here. But as you do, most of the time you've got the one that's sitting right on the water. It looks like a boathouse, and it's called the Boathouse. And that's where you go on for your second tier of drinks. After you hit the Boathouse, there's a couple of different ways that you can go. The first one that most people like to go down may be to hit AJ's, but AJ's is typically the locals' last spot, and it has grown significantly, and I'll go into that a little bit further. But you can completely bypass that if you want, head all the way down to the end, and then hit a place called Jester's. Now, Jester's has some good pizza by the slice. It's actually decent. I'm a New Yorker, and I'm going to say that that's pretty decent for our area that you can get there. But they also have these daiquiri type drinks with as much shots as you want to put in there. So that might be a good one to walk around with too. As you head back, you also have another local spot, Harry T's. Don't go to the downstairs, go upstairs. That's where everybody's going to kind of party. They usually have live music throughout the weekend and even throughout the week. And as you venture down, there may even be live music there on the Harbor Walk itself, if you want to stop there and take a peek. And then most of the time people will end up at AJ's towards the end of the night. Now that is kind of the party spot, if you will. There's really not so much of a nightclub in Destin. I'll give you some options for it, but that's typically where they go. There's now an outside area with another stage, and then you can go up into the bar where they have a couple of different places that kind of overlook the Destin Harbor. You've got live music, and it's kind of the walking around like this sort of thing, spilling your drink all over your shoes or sandals, since you're going to be here in Florida. So that's where you're going to go for your main drag in Destin. So let's keep it in Destin. If you want to go to the club, there was a place called Nighttown, but that doesn't exist anymore. It hasn't existed in quite some time. It's actually now a church, Shoreline Church. So don't go there. You might get something different than what you anticipated. So the places that you could go to that may have a club atmosphere, of course, they have the Coyote Ugly Saloon that you can go hang out in. It has the same sort of club vibe where people can get into fights for whatever reason. It may or may not be on or off the military blacklist sometimes. It is what it is. But if you're looking for that, it's your club. You can also head down a little bit further towards getting close to Miramar. They also have Brick and Brack. It's not so much of a club scene, but they do have a salsa dancing upstairs, which, if that's what you're into, great place to go. All right, and as far as wine places, the best one to go to is going to be the Wine Bar in Destin. However, if you're looking for that ambiance, if you're looking out there, maybe get a little bit of food, some tapas, whatever you're after, you can go to the Marina Cafe. I personally love that place. It's a little bit more fancy, like you would anticipate. You can go have a glass of wine, have some decent food. You can hang out there at the bar. It just has a great view. But Marina Cafe right there off of 98 is a great place to go for that. And as far as beer to go check out in Destin, you want to go ahead and check out the Destin Brewery, which is actually a glass I have. Destin Brewery is a good place to go. You can check out Craft Bar, has a great selection of brews to go in there. It's a little expensive, but most things in Destin's are typically a bit expensive. Okay, so let's talk about Fort Walton Beach. Now, Fort Walton Beach, you've got downtown Fort Walton. That's kind of the main drag that you'll go to. Most of the time when people go down there, they'll check out Casey's Sandbar. Now, Casey's Sandbar is literally got sand all throughout it. It's almost completely outdoors. I'm going to say it's completely outdoors. It's got an overhang where they actually serve the drinks out. It does have now an actual stage. It's got some covered seating as well. Usually, even when it gets cold, they'll have the heaters and things out there, but it is all sand that you're walking on. So if you got shoes that can't handle it, consider taking them off. But pretty good atmosphere as you go out there. Once you go there, if you're looking for another place to go, you also have Salty Duck, lots of games and things that you can do. It's just a little bit further up from the 98 strip that you're going to have there, Highway 98 strip. From there, most people like to go to Coasters. There's also a couple of other different bars that are around there, but that's kind of the local, I'm going to call it a local dive bar. Kind of is, but still pretty good. They usually have live music. There's a stage and everything else out there. And I also want to mention this because it's not within walking distance. I mean, you could walk if you wanted to, but it's a little bit further off in Fort Walton Beach, but it's on Okaloosa Island. If you go over the bridge from Fort Walton, and you go off to the left. By the way, if you're not from here, you actually have to take a right to go under the bridge and then back around to get to this place, because you can't take a left there. It's really confusing and your GPS will throw you off. But in any case, you end up over there, you kind of take that left, and then you go through an area where it looks a little run down. There's a couple of places that used to be a couple of strip clubs, gentlemen's clubs, whatever. There's still a couple that are active, but then as you go and take another left, you've got this awesome place. It's just made out of containers, like old shipping containers, called the Gulf. As you go into there, it's all sitting there on the Intercoastal Waterway or the bay, and you get some boat traffic that comes in there. They have some good, decent food, but the ambiance and the atmosphere is amazing. It closes a bit early, so you may want to go to one of these places first. However, they've got tons of seating. They've got, I think I saw some hammocks. They've got picnic tables, all sorts of different seats out there. They also will have an outdoor, and there's an upstairs bar. Sometimes it's open. And usually on the other side of that too, they'll hold concerts at the Gulf, which is pretty amazing to go check out as well. But I wanted to mention that's one of my personal favorite places. Also in Fort Walton Beach, if you want to go check out and have the club scene, this is the closest that you're going to get to it unless you go to Panama City. We have the Block. The Block is a lot like what I talked about at Seville, but if you asked anybody here local, they would probably want to slap me for mentioning them in the same sentence. But the Block has 3 different clubs that are in it. They have a karaoke bar. You walk in, there's a mechanical bull in there. There's a Western country sort of bar, and of course you've got your hip hop one up on the other side of it too. So really nice there. If you're looking more for the club vibe, there is a Vibe nightclub that's right next to it as well, where it's got 2 different stories, different VIP sections, things like that, and it's typically your normal nightclub scene. As far as wine, taste and tapas in the wine bar are probably some of the best. It's right there in downtown Fort Walton Beach to go check out. And of course for beer, Tapworks is right in downtown Fort Walton Beach as well. They've got a good selection of beers, some on tap, some in the cans. Really just got to see whatever everybody's drinking there. And of course, a little bit off the beaten path, but I wanted to mention it here, is you have Fort Walton Beach Brewery. It's not in the downtown area. And it's got some weird hours, but if you go up there, it's kind of right in the middle of suburbia. However, they usually have some food trucks, some local beers, some different ones that you may have not had the opportunity to taste, that some of the local people may have made. So going out there, they've got some nice outdoor garden, beer garden that they do, and it's just a really nice place to go check out. Kind of a hidden gem that definitely is worth going to see. Okay, all right, let's move on to 30A in Santa Rosa Beach. This is more of the affluent community. I'm going to give you some notable mentions from some of the times that I've been throughout here, and some of my other colleagues have as well. So one of the local spots to go check out is Red's Pub. It's a little bit different there's 2 Reds. You'll know the one when you go in there because it looks a little bit dilapidated and doesn't look like it's really, kind of part of the 30A culture, which is kind of interesting because it really is that local culture. So if you're looking for an off the beaten path place to go, Red's Pub is one of the best ones to check out. Grayton Brewery, which is one of the beers I'm enjoying as in this video, is now called Beach Camp Brewery or Brew Pub. There's one going up in Destin, but it was originally in Grayton Beach out there in 30A in Santa Rosa Beach. But really nice place out there, decent pub food, really nice atmosphere, and really good beer. Also, if you head down to Seaside, Bud and Alley's waterfront is where you'll see a lot of people just going up there, taking a look upon that just gorgeous, gorgeous beach, and getting a couple of drinks up there. They've got good beers, they've got good mixed drinks. Their menu's okay. If you want the good food, yeah, got to go downstairs for that. Okay, I'm sure that there's more with that, but that's the best ones I'm going to give you if you're going out for that. And let's move on to Panama City. Whew, some memories in Panama City. All right, so your main stroll to go down there is clearly the front beach road, and that does go into different roads as you go into it, but that's going to be your main drag there. There's lots of different places that you go to, just kind of follow the crowd. There are some different bars that are within the different condo units that you can check out that are usually open to the public. But yeah, there's definitely all sorts of different things to go on that road. For your club, this is that main beach club. This is the one that you see featured all the time. Check out Club La Vida. Yes, that's the one. If you remember back when MTV actually showed music, this is this is where spring break was. It is a huge club. It's got a pool side. There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, you can hear the bass a mile away. It is exactly what you anticipate for that. Now, if that's a little bit too much for you, or you need a place to start to kind of warm up to that, they do have another Coyote Ugly out there as well, which is right off of Front Beach, or it's not on Front Beach, but it's pretty darn close to it on your way down to the other club. For your wine and chill, it's going to be the Bergen Barrel, which isn't on that main part of the street. It's more in Panama City Beach. It's more in Panama City. But really nice place to go ahead and check out for your wine fix, and pretty chill atmosphere as well. As far as beer goes, Craft 850 is a nice place to go. That's in Panama City Beach, and it's got lots of different beers on tap, and it's probably some of the best selection that you're going to find there. And last but not least, I want to throw this in here too. Idle Hounds isn't right there. It's a little bit of a trek. It's north off of Route 30, but it's totally worth it if you go out there. It's got a great brewery atmosphere. It's called Idle Hounds, and going up in to check that out, of course it's got brewery hours, so it closes a little bit earlier, but going ahead and check that out. It's got a great seating area, great brews. I personally like all of those, and good tastings all around. Well, that's all I have for getting drunk on the Emerald Coast, so cheers to you. If you have any questions about anything I mentioned here, please leave it here in the comments below. If I left anything out, which I know I did, and you want to give it a shout out, leave it here in the comments below. I'm sure that there's plenty of stories that can go along with a lot of these. But yes, leave them here in the comments below. And of course, if you're moving to this area, you got some questions, need some help with some things, especially if you're moving here, get a hold of us, give us a call, text, or email. Or find us on social media. Whatever you got to do, we got your back when moving here to the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area. But I'm Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group here with eXp Realty. We'll see you in our next video. Take care.